I don't know how much of a fan I am of holding this thing in front of me looking at it, but yeah, so we bought pit bikes. Sold the mini bikes, as you can see, and we definitely traded up. Actually sold a welder, sold some paintball guns, what else? Welding helmet, a bunch of ridiculous shit. But somehow we pulled off getting 2 brand new pit bikes. So this here's a 2022 Yamaha TTR110. It's got a graphics kit, BBR bars, special custom pro circuit, full exhaust, breakaway shifter. What else? Dunlop tires, front and rear. So definitely a badass bike. And we also got a 2023 KLX110R. It is fully bone stock, but definitely pretty sweet. So yeah, we bought pit bikes, and they are every bit as fun as you would think. There's a reason why you can't buy them at a dealer. There's a reason why you can't buy them used, and if you did, they're just as much money as they were brand new. There's a reason why full-grown adults buy them and mod the shit out of them, is because they're a fucking riot. They're great. I thought that the mini bikes that we had modded up were fun, but they're not even in the same ballpark. These things are great. You know, you want to rip wheelies down the street, you want to go climb a hill, you want to go 50 mile an hour, they'll do whatever you want. So we definitely upgraded, and they're pretty sweet. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over all of them here in a few minutes. I've had them here for a couple weeks, posted some shorts about them here. I hooked up with a company, TBOLTUSA, which I would imagine a lot of people are aware of, and they just sent us some goodies here. Got a whole box of stuff. So I got a hold of the guy over at T-Bolt. We were working back and forth, and I'm gonna go ahead and go over some products that they hooked us up with here, and hopefully it'll lead some other people to their website. So I seen Faster Minis and a couple other websites I checked out, and they just didn't seem to have the magnitude of parts that T-Bolt USA had, and the prices were higher. So instead of going with Pro Taper bars, I went with T-Bolt bars. They actually had the tall BBR seat, which Faster Minis had it. They didn't have it in stock. It was sold out. So a couple goodies here, and pretty cool company. I literally ordered it 2 days ago, and it was at my doorstep. So 2-day shipping. I mean, we are both on the East Coast here, but yeah. So I imagine not too often do you get to see one of these in a garage, let alone 2 new pit bikes side by side. We got the Yamaha first, and then about a week later we got the Kawasaki. Both pretty much identical, but both very different in a lot of different aspects. Both, you know, just as fast, pretty much the same. They're both 4-speed semi-automatics. They're both 110cc, but a lot of differences. So we're going to go ahead and check them out. So this one here is the 2022 Yamaha TTR110. And like I said, we'll go over a couple of the goodies. It did come with the Pit Bike of Nations graphics kit. So we got this from Motozilli. And if you Google Pit Bike of Nations races, you'll see all these different bikes. And apparently that had a couple different sponsors: Dunlop, Thor, Pro Circuit, BBR. So they hooked all the bikes up with all these goodies in that race, and this was kind of like the podium featured bike. It wasn't ridden, so they souped it all up and then took it back to the dealer, put it for sale, and we just happened to luck out and get it. So graphics are pretty cool. They could have took their time, maybe put them on a little bit cleaner, but other than that, they're pretty sweet. This has a mini Pro Circuit pipe, as you can see there. I did just wash it, but my son had to immediately go out on the trail, which is, you know, pretty awesome. But yeah, mini Pro Circuit pipe, man, does it sound awesome, and it definitely lets it rev out. I don't know how true it is, but apparently the guy at Motozilli said that Pro Circuit only made these pipes for these bikes for that race. Sorry, man. So if you wanted to go buy one of these pipes for your TTR, you couldn't do it. Apparently they were one of a kind. That was it, done. So good and bad, but pretty sweet, I gotta admit. So just fired it up. That's the sound of it idling. Just kind of warm it up here. I'll do a little walk around. that's what it sounds like. Definitely sounds amazing. It was on there when we got it, so I can't really do a stock to pro circuit pipe comparison, but obviously it sounds pretty sweet. If I remember, I'll make sure to insert a couple of the clips here. We do have a couple shorts of Derek ripping this in the woods, so you can kind of hear it loaded up in the woods too. Really sounds good. Yep, fired up. All right. Sure sounds good, I'll tell you that. So they do have electric start, which was mainly a selling point, and they do have kickstart, supposedly in case the battery quit working. But in my opinion, it's just to be sweet. So I'll show you how easy it starts up. Turn the key. Fires right up. Like that. Kill switch, and like I said, just because of fun here. Yeah. Kickstarters too. They do like the Kickstarter. Yeah, so let's see. This one has a key right there on the center. Kill switch, twist throttle, start button. This one does have the tall BBR bars. So, and they're wider. You can kind of see the look of that compared to little stock bars on the KLX. Let's see here. What else to point out? I'm not really going to go over the whole bike as far as like things that it has. It's a 110. If you're watching the video, you know what a pit bike is. You just want to see it rip, kind of go over it. It is what it is. I never had a pit bike before. I've never rode a dirt bike. Anything, so it's quite an experience. The only thing I've ever been on was a mini bike, and these are not mini bikes. I gotta say, you can get fucking hurt on these for sure. We found that out in the woods easy. One thing I noticed is dirt bikes do not like ruts. I'm used to riding, I've rode his quad my whole life, not his quad, but I've rode quads my whole life, and then we moved up to a side-by-side, so ruts weren't really an issue, but definitely try to cross rut or cross over some in one of these, and it is sketchy. It almost bucked me off a couple times, but they are ridiculously impressive. We've climbed some pretty good hills on them just in the couple times we've taken them out, and although they are underpowered and they're 110s, it's not a 450 dirt bike we're talking about here. We are talking about a 110 pit bike, but the fact that they're 4-speed and you can downshift and upshift and change the gearing while you're going is amazing. I mean, they'll go up anything, and the front end doesn't come up unless you want it to come up. You want to pull wheelies up some, you could rip wheelies. You want to jump a jump, you can jump a jump. I mean, the suspension's nice and soft. They're definitely a lot of fun. So yeah, this one here is a 23 KLX110R. I did not want to get a clutch. For obvious reasons. I need all the grip I can get on a handlebar, you know what I'm saying? But I just wanted it to be kind of the same bike. I wanted a pit bike just like his. I didn't want to get a Yamaha because I just didn't want to get the same bike. I wanted to get something a little different. No reason at all. I mean, it's badass. I love it. I just wanted to get something different, so we got a KLX. I wasn't allowed to get a CRF because if he had a carburetor, I couldn't get fuel injection. So they are both carbureted. I did forget to mention that, which is okay. You know, they fire up fine. We've had it maybe in 40 degrees so far, all the way up to 75, and use the choke, don't use the choke. Literally, like the first time you push the button, it fires right up. So, all right, I'm gonna go over the KLX here, and then we'll get into the goodies. If you're watching and wondering where the Maverick is, it is outside, not in the garage right now. Just took it out to get washed. Kind of a pit bike video, but everything's good with the Maverick. Getting a little bit of a clicking noise coming from the left rear again, which I would imagine is another factory axle going bad, but I think I'm just gonna wait till that blows on the trail and we'll address it then. Give you a little update about the YFZ here. Still waiting on the decals that wore off. You know, factory decals after about owning it for a month that looked like shit on a brand new badass bike. But other than that, it is running fucking amazing. Sorry for just dropping it like that, but I just took it for a ride the other day and it is incredible. I've said it before, but I've had a few different quads over my life. I've had a built ported Banshee with pipes. I had a carbureted 450. I had a Raptor 660. I had a 250R. And none of them are even in the same ballpark as what this is. Just absolutely ridiculous. Pulls from start to finish. The sound, I mean, it sounds like a Ferrari. It's ridiculous. So anybody ever thinking about getting a 450, a new one, just go do it. Just go buy a new one, put the big 3 on it, and you will never look back. One, we did have an issue with it recently is it seemed like the idle, you know, was having some issues. Once he'd ride it for about 20 minutes and it would heat up. And not heat up, not get hot, but I just mean like now the temperature changed outside to where it's like 70 degrees. And once the bike kind of reached temperature, it wouldn't idle. You'd have to hold your thumb on the throttle the whole time or else it would just stall. So we have that Vortex tuner on it. I still got a factory warranty and we have an extended warranty. So I had a couple different choices of what to do. I called B&R Motorsports, who apparently is like the gods of YFZ 450Rs. Their shop is amazing. They literally have like massive glass doors to where you can look into their shop. But anyway, they were the ones that tuned the Vortex. So I called them. I was able to actually physically talk to the owner himself. He knew exactly what it was, said he thinks that the idle air control motor went bad, which there was a batch of them apparently within the last year that go bad, and it's pretty common after a bike gets about 15 to 20 hours on it that they just quit working and they won't idle when it gets warm. What he did is he actually was able to go in and fix it when I went there. He didn't even have me unload it out of the bed of my truck, fixed it on the spot before he went to lunch, and didn't charge me. So can't ask for much more than that, but yeah, pretty sweet. See if I can fire it up. It's gonna be ridiculous. My neighbors are probably gonna hate me, but man, that thing sounds great. Yeah, so a 23 KLX110R. Literally has about an hour on it. So a couple things that are a little bit different about it than the Yamaha in a bad way is one, this right here is not a dipstick. I'll just show you here. Whip this thing out and it is a fill plug, not a dipstick. The Yamaha has the same kind of plug here, only it pulls out like a normal dipstick. This actually uses a sight line. So you see 2 hash marks here, and the oil is obviously just in between the hash marks. I googled to see if you can put a dipstick in it. You cannot, obviously, you know, you can see the engine internals there right through, so it wouldn't really make sense. But I didn't really see anybody complaining about the oil level issue. You would think that maybe that would yellow over or something, but nobody really complains about it. So, and apparently these KLXs were the first pit bikes you know, then the other ones kind of modeled it after them. But so must be good. I kind of like the frame setup a little bit more on the Yamaha. If you can see, you know, it's a whole like solid tubular frame that goes back and then it's mounted onto it. And the KLX actually looks like it's only like a tube to there, and then they used bent plate that was all welded together around here. So definitely unique. So this one has a dual cable throttle system. There's 2 throttle cables up there, and it runs down into some weird box above the throttle or above the carburetor. So yeah, this one only has one. You can't really see me. Sorry for jumping around so quick. Yeah. So that one only has one, just right into the carburetor there. This one also does not have a key. So you can turn it on and then see, check. Yeah, fires right up. I love that thing. I'm not sure if I love it more than my Maverick or not, but man, is it fun. So, still obviously got the stock exhaust on it. Give you a little walk around here. Don't sound too bad for a stock exhaust. Got the heat shield. Kind of looks like shit, but it's kind of convenient. We'll address this later, but apparently the pegs are bolted right into the case on the bottom. So a lot of people take this peg bar off and put a stiffer cradle skid plate on underneath. It gets a little pricey when you get into modifying things, so we're just going to take it easy on the bottom end of it. But so T-Bolt USA hooked us up with T-Bolt high bars, extended throttle cable by T-Bolt, T-Bolt extended brake cable. We got the tall BBR seat with the green ribs, and T-Bolt had all kinds of jets for the carburetor. So this thing has a little bit of a bog right off cracking the throttle. Apparently it's a little lean right out of the factory, if you can, yeah, see? And like instantly runs out of fuel. And we'll give it a couple little rips. Yeah, anyway, so it needs a bigger pilot, bigger main, and it needs the needle adjusted. And on these bikes, the needle, you can't adjust it. There's no clip. Normally, you can move the clip so the needle sits down in the carburetor or raises itself up to lean or richen the mid-range. But this doesn't, so the only way you can adjust it is to richen the mid-range by putting a shim inside the carburetor, which then raises the needle up. So T-Bolt had all that shit in stock. That was super nice. Like I said, it was here within 2 days. So we'll tear into that box and check out what we got. Yeah, pit bikes are sweet. A little walk around with them right side by side. Still in at least the KLX's stock form. Okay, let's bust this thing open. See what we got. Ooh, messed them up. Good looking stickers in there. Nice. Some high bars. Ooh. Tall seat. think it's a garage banner. Also got some t-shirts, cables, more t-shirts and stickers. Nice, man, they hooked us up. Must be the jets and washers, grips. Alright, that's a pretty sweet looking banner. I gotta say. So T-Bolt sent us out a pretty cool garage banner. Definitely pretty awesome to go with decoration in the garage. Bunch of nice stickers. Got a pretty solid discount off of everything. And some pretty cool t-shirts. So thanks a lot, guys. 2-day shipping came. You know, I was on the East Coast. It may take a day or two longer for you. Super great prices. Everything was in stock. I asked about some products and literally within an hour I had a response. So if that's saying anything, you know, I don't know what to tell you, but you should go check them out. So I'll put a link in the description, but get all these parts put on that KLX and see what it looks like. Pretty excited about the seat because I gotta say, dude, my ass hurt so bad that first day that we rode them. Alright, so go ahead and get, I guess I'm gonna do it all. I was deciding on doing the seat and then not doing the bars right now, but I'm just gonna pull the plastics, pull the seat. So let's get started. See what somebody means about these things falling out. Nice. Pain in the ass. Yeah, I heard about some people saying these things fall out, so they need to, you know, so you don't tighten the plastics into it. Okay, that's about as far as I'm going to strip this baby down. I'm going to take that carburetor off here soon, but all the plastics pulled off, gas tank pulled off. Not real proud of doing that on something brand new, but this is as far as I'm going to tear it down, really, ever. You know, other than I guess to replace the air filter, I could pull that plastics off, but no reason to pull the gas tank ever again. You know, we're going to replace the throttle cable. I'm going to rejet the carburetor, cut this air box out, put new bars on. Yeah, baby is looking sweet. It's all the plastics, number plate, side plates. These weird little rubber grommets inside, one of them fell out, so I'm gonna have to glue that back on. That's weird, but so let's compare the seats. Pretty obvious the difference in the seat already. As you can see, the tall seat definitely has a significant amount more of surface area to sit on. It's definitely nice and flat too. Hopefully there's a lot more padding because my poor taint them first few days were rough. Yeah, so that should turn out pretty sweet. What's the next step here? I guess pull the air box, pull the tube, pull the carburetor, pull the bars. I'll set you back up here and we'll get going. So I think we're gonna go with the whole carburetor deal here first. So that's the choke circuit. Weird, but should be able to figure all that out. Just trying to decide what I want to do here next. If I remember to edit this part here, I'm not really doing a full walk around or anything here. You know, it's pretty much basic tools. It's all like 8mm sizes. This front brake here, it's 10mm. You know, it's pretty self-explanatory. recording. Getting that front brake cable off sucks ass. Damn. Okay, let's tear open these T-bolt bars. Definitely packaged pretty damn nice. Alright, so it got a little hot in here. I had some trouble with the throttle for a second. My GoPro overheated, shut off a couple times, so you did miss a little bit of the end installation, but not a whole lot. So first off, dude, T-Bolt USA, absolutely badass. I mean, check them bars out compared to what it looked like. Super impressive. New grips, new bars, all the throttle cable and the brake cable went perfectly. And the seat, man, check that seat out. Huge difference. Between the seat and the bars, it's like bike changing. I haven't rode it yet, but I mean, yeah. So the only thing I did not do is jet the carburetor and do the airbox mod. So I still have to pull all the plastics off and do that again. I don't really feel like doing that today. But bars, grips, all the cables are changed, and the seat, and it looks fucking sweet. It is maybe 2 days later. Taking this baby for a good couple test drives. Got a good feel for the bars, the seat, and final thoughts on big bars and a tall seat is it is a must. I know I've said it a few times throughout this video, but that there, you can still see is the Kawasaki seat. Super thin looking, like a banana shape, kind of shoves you right up front there uncomfortably. And that is the tall BBR seat with the green ribs from T-Bolt USA. Completely different style seat. It's flat. It has a whole lot more padding. It has a gripper style seat cover, and it makes a big difference. Because the first few rides that we went on, my tailbone was super sore. You know, my butt kind of lined up right about here. I was trying to, and then it would try to shove you forward the whole time. So definitely a big difference on the seat. Moving on to the bars, they just look sweet. You know, I like the USA T-Bolt bar pad there. Definitely taller, definitely wider, and a bit straighter of a sweep. So I saved the stock bars here. I'll try to do a little, I'll try to hold them. So right off the rip there, you can see significantly taller, significantly wider, and I don't know if you can see that easily, but a huge difference in the bend, which definitely changed the handle of the entire bike. Well, we're gone forever. But yeah, it changed the whole handle of the bike. Definitely rides. I swear, it didn't change anything about the ride, but it just rides different. Steers different, a whole different feel. So I would immediately get tall bars and get a tall seat if you buy a pit bike, even if you're a child, adult, whatever. Couple other things to point out here. In the moment, I had some trouble getting this front brake cable off. Really, it's pretty simple. There's a jam nut on the bottom, a jam nut on the top, and then that's all the adjustment. As you can see, it's right at the end of its adjustment for the front brake, and it's right at the end of the adjustment up on the cable as well, or up on the handle. And I still got pretty good brakes now, but once those brake shoes wear in, what I am gonna have to do, and I didn't know this before, so if you don't know, it's pretty easy here. This pivot arm is adjustable. This bolt goes through like a U shape in the center to kind of act like a shear pin to hold it in place like a circlip, and then it's on gears. So you just loosen this, pull it out, and then you can pivot that arm down to give it more tension, and then you can get some more brake cable tension out of it. But take the handle off first, release the tension on the cable, and then loosen all the nuts, and it should pull off pretty easily. So that's it for the brakes. No problem, they work great now. The throttle, on the other hand, was kind of a pain in the ass. I got it perfectly adjusted now to where, as you can see, there is almost absolutely no play. First couple test drives, it had a significant amount of play, which is not acceptable for a twist throttle. So a couple things here. The throttle cable comes down into this bent part on top of the carburetor, and it pulls out of it normally like a normal dirt bike or ATV throttle cable, except here it goes into some weird brass union, and that brass union is held in with a circlip. Well, let me see if I can get it from the old cable here. There's a brake. Yeah, here we go. So, yeah, if you can see that little shoulder there fits into a brass union over there on the throttle, which is adjustable. It has adjustment as well as adjustment here. I have this almost maxed out, so I have that all the way in on the carburetor. Not really a huge difference, but so anyway, that brass union in there holds that piece that I just showed you in with a clip. Well, I couldn't see the clip, so I kind of tried to beat it out, and I actually ruined the clip, which can't hold the throttle cable to the carburetor, which means it wouldn't have ran, and I can't even imagine trying to find that clip. So I actually had some stainless wire that I used to hang those pictures and flags and stuff up that I make with my CNC machine. So I actually made a clip, I wound it around inside of there, bent the clip, and then covered it with some electrical tape, and the boot slipped over nicely. So perfect there, no issues. Got the throttle adjusted nicely, so yeah, it all went pretty easily. Just a little bit of a pain in the butt getting the throttle out and the brake cable out, but nothing to it. I would say all in all, I had less than an hour. And T-Bolt USA hooked us up with a shitload of stickers. So I wasn't real sure what I was gonna do, buy a graphics kit, no graphics kit. Obviously no graphics kit now because I think it looks pretty cool. I kind of wiped it down with like a Goo Gone, just like a sticker removal type stuff. So I wiped all the plastics down with that so the stickers could stick to it nicely. But BBR Motorsports, Motion Pros, the throttle cable, SICK 110s make some good parts. Obviously all the T-Bolt stickers. What else? I got a Trinity Racing sticker on there, some parts for my side-by-side. Little pit bike stickers, so looks pretty cool. Quite a transformation of a bike from the initial look of the stock 110. So if we get lucky here, I'll insert a clip of me taking it for a rip around the block just to get some point of view footage on it. So at least you got to see a little bit of ripping. I normally cover the GoPro with a foam cover to kind of cut down on the wind noise, and the foam cover ripped right before I left. So unfortunately I had to cut a lot of that out, and what was in there was terrible wind noise. So sorry about that. Future videos will not be like that. So anyway, definitely rips. Sure is a lot of fun. Thanks again to T-Bolt, and definitely be putting out some more pit bike content this summer. They sure are a blast.